Anambra State, Willie Obiano, is still in custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. He was arrested by the Commission on Thursday evening at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. Mr. Obiano, who has been on the Commission's watch list for months, was picked by the EFCC at about 8:30 p.m., hours after the inauguration of his predecessor, or his successor, Chief Chukwuma Soludo. He was reportedly on his way out of the country to Houston, Texas, in the United States after handing over. The EFCC had requested the Nigerian Immigration Service to inform it anytime the governor is traveling out of the country from any of the international airports, as well as other points of entry and exit. It is, however, not clear why the anti-graft agency placed the governor on a watch list. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, says his tenure has not elapsed and he will not be resigning. He made this clarification while declaring open the 2021 National Association of Judiciary Correspondents Media Conference in Abuja. His reaction is coming after reports making the rounds on social media suggest that he has resigned from office. We have details of this report.
The 2023 general election is approaching. Judiciary correspondents in Abuja are mindful of the fact that they may be conscripted to spread false information about personalities and issues. Many public officers have been victims of malicious and mischievous media report, deliberate distortion of facts from more professional media practitioners. This has in turn rubbed off on professional media practitioners. The media is important in shaping public opinion, but hate speech and fake news challenge the collective culture of peaceful and harmonious coexistence as a people. This conference is to prepare judiciary correspondents against such eventualities. It is declared open by the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. He believes that there must be consequences for journalists who offer themselves to be used to spread fake information about personalities. He makes reference to an online publication which suggested that he had resigned his position as the AGF as fake news. He also noted that his office always insists on due diligence as he does scrutiny, as well as beyond reasonable doubt and impeccable precedence in determination of issues.
Some unprofessional information disseminators will be taken aback that Malami, that was claimed to have resigned as Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, was declaring this unique conference of journalists as Attorney General of the Federation. And to everything, my time in office as an Attorney General of the Federation has not yet ended.
Caused to life and property by those travels in this era of insecurity is mitigated. Above all, the delays that were the hallmark of our criminal trials are now cushioned by the virtual court sittings.
To call on both the executive and legislature to look into the budgetary allocation to the judiciary with a view to jacking it up to enable it to meet up with the challenges that may arise in the conduct of 2023 elections.
Journalists were advised to refrain from fake news, hate speech, inflammatory statements, indictment, defamation in their reportage that would jeopardize the peaceful coexistence in the society.
And still in Abuja, the Federal High Court has discharged and acquitted the former Chief of Air Staff, Muhammad Umar, of charges accusing him of financial diversion from the account of the Nigerian Air Force. The retired Air Marshal got a one count of money laundering charges involving 66 million naira allegedly taken from the account of the Nigerian Air Force during his time as the Chief of Air Force between 2010 and 2012. Judiciary correspondent Celestina Ira has the report.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had in 2016 charged former Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Muhammad Umar, retired, with a 7-count charge of money laundering while in office between 19 September 2010 and 10 October 2012. The prosecution alleged that the Air Marshal diverted over 4.8 billion naira and used the funds to acquire property in choice areas of Abuja and other places. After the prosecution closed its case with 12 witnesses, the defendants filed a no-case submission urging the court to dismiss the entire 7 counts on the grounds that the evidence by the prosecution did not link him to the offences. Ruling on the propriety of the evidence led by the EFCC in February 2021, the judge dismissed 6 out of the 7 counts initially filed against Mr. Umar by the Anti-Graft Agency. Delivering judgment on the case, Justice Nnamdi Ndingba held that there is nothing in the evidence of the prosecution proving Mr. Umar instructed the transfer of the said funds to the renovation of his private property in Abuja. Part of the findings made by Justice Nnamdi Ndingba while delivering judgment is that it would be dangerous to speculate on wide assumption that the retired Air Marshal must be aware of every transactions from the NAF account. However, the judge ordered the former Chief of Air Staff to refund the sum of 57 million naira to the Nigerian Air Force within 7 working days.
If somebody is discharged and acquitted yet an order is met, well, that is subject of an appeal. When we read the judgment, we will see what we can do.
The said funds Mr. Mari has been asked to return was the actual amount used in refurbishing his private property at Asukoro area in Abuja. Celestina area, TVC News, Abuja.
And now to the challenges of security in the country. In Niger State, over 100 bandits have been killed by joint security operatives in Bangi Mariga local government area of the state. The state government says that the bandits were the same group that attacked a divisional police station in Nasco and were killed while trying to escape to Zamfara State. Chenemi Bami reports.
On Tuesday the 15th of March, gunmen launched an attack on Nasco, killing the divisional police officer and 6 other security operatives. On Wednesday, the bandits besieged Bangi Divisional Police Station with the aim of carrying out a similar attack on security personnel. But they were met with resistance as joint security operatives had gotten a wind of the plan and fearlessly engaged the terrorists, leading to the killing of dozens of the criminals, while many others escaped with gunshot injuries attempting to cross over into Zamfara State. 65 motorcycles were reportedly recovered with guns. The Niger State Governor Abubakar Malami has commended the joint security operatives for their gallantry in repelling the attack. The governor, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Mary Noel Berger, acknowledged the dedication of the conventional and unconventional security agencies in the fight against terrorism in the state. He said it is soul-soothing to know that the criminals had a bad outing. The government says security has been reinforced in that area and it will continue to provide necessary support to security operatives to keep out the activities of bandits within its borders. Chenemi Bami, TVC News, Mina.
And still on security and maintenance, the Chief of Army Staff conference with principal staff officers and field commanders has ended in Abuja with a resolve to implement actionable ideas to tackle insecurity. Sifon Essien has details here.
The conference ends with new strategies which the Chief of Army Staff says will be reflected in its operations across the country.
Our interactions, which have been honest, frank and professional, have produced actionable ideas which I believe will improve our ongoing operations and other activities.
The Army Chief also announced that a new welfare scheme is at its final stage for 7 personnel, and even after they are done with their service.
The welfare packages which are in the final stages of consideration are designed to improve the well-being of the personnel, both while in service and in life after service.
What is yet to be seen is how these new strategies would translate into improved security in the country.